Mark, Mr. Marcus, you're just wasting your time, bro. They don't care about the game. Just move on, bro. Dead game. Move on. Play another game. If you cared about PvP, you would play League or another FPS or whatever. That's what they all say. It hurts my feelings because I can't. You can't. You cannot get into another game competitively. You know it. I know it. This game, WoW Arena, will never satisfy, or another game will never satisfy the urges, the satisfaction, the glory of WoW Arena, or just WoW PvP in general. It's not even just Arena, PvP and Battlegrounds and stuff. Nothing has captured it. How many games have we tried over like 15 years? It never works. So today, call this Hopium, but we're going to talk a little bit about the PvP and the quote-unquote lack of support. I saw a really good Twitter thread online, and I kind of want to bring light to it, maybe give it a little more attention, and kind of give my thoughts on it as well, because these are not like elitist thoughts. These are things that everybody talks about, everybody thinks about, and we just want a little bit, okay? Yes, the game is not geared towards PvP, but why can't it? I think there's just so much potential, untapped potential in this game that we got to keep trying, man. Like, we're going down swinging, if anything, all right? So today we're going to talk about this thread made up by MVQ. He put out this post. I thought this was a really great thread, so we're going to give some attention to it. And he basically just talks about different things to improve the game, whether it be incentive-based, balance-based, whatever it is. Just things to kind of get more people into the game. I'll throw in a few things that I can think of outside of these, but I thought all of these were excellent points to bring up, and some things that I probably didn't think of, and I'll try to give some input on myself as well. So the end all is we just want better, and I think people just want better incentives, and they want because I think I'm gonna get into it. Hold on, I'm gonna hold that thought when we talk about one of the threads on here. All right, so let's get into it here. So first one here he has is PvP illusions. The one on the left is the Legion. The one on the right is Shadowlands. You can see, you can't even tell there's one on this side. And the pig sticker is probably the weapon that shows illusions the most in the entire game, if you don't know that already. So like, this is as good as it gets on that enchant. This was Legion, like the one I'm wearing right now. This is from MOP 14 years ago, and why can't this one here was a recolor of, or the green was a recolor of this one, and it's like, why can't we just get the same colors? The Shadowlands ones weren't, or Dragonflight ones rather, were not that bad. Like, we're getting there. Like, can we just make them crazy? Like, not that bad. This one could have been a little bit more better. This could have been more better. Yeah, true. Shadowflame was good. Again, could even just made it a little bit thicker, Primal Storm, again, a little bit thicker. Why is that's Primal Storm versus Mongoose. Mongoose is more vibrant. This came out 20 years ago, Like, just little things like that. You're like, it's such an unfortunate miss. Some of the other ones from Shadowlands, like this was pretty lame. Sinful Flame wasn't bad from Shadowlands, but like this was a Shadowlands one, I think. This was another one, like, what is that? That looks like a level 10 enchant. So I feel like there's no reason to make better enchants at this point. And all people ask for, man, is just recolor this one. Do orange, pink, purple. We have purple, or actually not that color, not that texture, but just make every single color of that thing. Everybody would love it. People would thrive. PvEers would queue up to get that illusion. Are you kidding me? You cannot tell me a PvPer would try. Most PvPers would try if they were somewhat interested in PvP. They would be invested in that, and that's what we need. We need incentives. This is a PvE. Everyone keeps saying, it's a PvE based game. Nobody cares about PvP. Why don't we try to figure out ways to bring PvEers back in? A lot of Mythic Plusers did PvP at one point, and then they lost that. They lost it. The interest in it, and they satisfied their competitive needs by doing Mythic Plus. So I think that's a super easy fix on the incentive wise to help out with people playing the game and wanting to kind of progress. Gladiator players still can't have to use a script to track their Gladiator wins. There is no way for a player to know that they're getting 50 wins past. The funny thing about that is they actually did put an achievement thing in, but it just didn't work. Like actually, I never got legend, right? Let me see if the legend one even works. It's not on here, I guess. I know it would be. I don't know where it would be. Is it a feat of strength? No. But anyway, yes, I have an add-on for it. Right here, you have track 3v3, track shuffle wins. You have to. Why do I have to download an add-on to do that? They had an achievement tracker in the game for at one point, but then it just stopped working, and then nobody really cared about it, I guess. But yeah, that's a super easy one. They could also probably elaborate on Gladiator, I think. On the topic of Gladiator, at least I should say, I think the Gladiator mount is. Hopefully they. I don't think they're gonna adjust at this point, but it'd be cool to adjust the one they have a little bit. Like the current Gladiator mount, or the next one is like a bat and stuff, but it looks kind of meh. Like it's kind of like the Shadowlands Illusion and Chance, where they're like, you could have done so much better, man. But anyway, so Gladiator thing. Oh, what I was gonna say is, why can't we just have like a recolor in some of the other brackets? I don't know why there is no incentive in twos. This is my biggest. This is probably biased because I freaking love twos, but why is there not one twos incentive? Not one. You can do everything that you can get in twos, you can get in other brackets, and it's easier for the most part. There are some cases where twos, if your class is good in twos, 1800s and 2100s is easier, but 2400 is the entire expansion of Dragonflight. 2400 was very difficult. Like that's like top 1-200, and like even now, you know, I was just queuing with jelly beans, like, and we're like 2350 to 2400, and that's like the top end for the most part. There's a couple people that are like higher, but for the most part, 2400 is the top of most queues. Why is there not incentive? Shuffle, just give a recolor of the Glad mount. I would have pushed for Legend. I didn't give a crap about Legend because what do you get? You get a flag that goes on your back that you can't even use in PvP. What the heck? What? It's just silly, man. It's just silly. So, you know, on that note, they definitely could elaborate on a lot of incentives in that, and yeah, is what it is. Another incentive kind of going into that is PvP tabards. The tabards from most seasons don't fit the transmog. For example, Shadowlands Season 1, transmog theme was red. The red tabard was in Season 3. That's a great point. I didn't think about that. But yeah, the tabards suck. So like, I don't have all the tabards. I started getting the Glad tabards in, I have Legion ones. So starting from Legion. So like, these weren't bad. You know, Demonic, Fierce, these weren't even that bad. But then, dude. All right, another Dominant was, yeah, that was Legion as well. You don't even, yeah. This was BFA. This looks like a fucking Honor Hold tabard or a Stormwind tabard. This is just an embarrassment. This was a 2400 tabard. Get the fuck out of here. Not this one. This one. This again looks like a Stormwind tabard. This one again, crap. These are Shadowlands weren't that bad. I gotta say, Shadowlands weren't that bad. But like he said, that it is actually a really interesting point that they did not match up with the season. Like they released a green one when I believe like the mountain stuff was black and red. Yeah, he said the season was red, and for some reason Cosmic, like this should have been in the beginning. And then what was the? Oh, I didn't get the last season one, did I? I think I didn't really play the season 4. But yeah, like the Shadowlands ones were definitely better, and I just wish there was just a smidge more effort in there. This last season, these last expansions weren't that bad, but again, could have been better. Like this one was okay. Crimson, no, I didn't like Crimson. This one was okay. I actually liked the Verdant one. I thought that was pretty cool. The Draconic one was pretty cool, the color scheme on it. But definitely could have been a little more effort. Like, this tabard was from a freaking quest line. This looks cooler than all of the Glad tabards. Like, I just wish like a little bit of effort. Like, this is a 2400 reward. It would be great to have something that people actually want. Like, I have not once this entire expansion pushed 2400 for the purpose of the tabard. Some of these I actually did. Like, I really like this red tabard. Like, this was something that I did want to get because it went for a lot of transmogs and it has like the high neck on it. So I thought those were really awesome to go for. But you know, BFA was bad. They have improved a little bit from Shadowlands, and then they went down. Like Dragonflight, they had great enchants, or better enchants, I should say. And Shadowlands, they had crap enchants. And then now they switched. They did a good job with tabards in Shadowlands, but they just forgot about it in Dragonflight. So little thing there. And yeah, matching them up with the transmogs would be great. Oh, on the note of transmogs too, I hopefully they keep going with the ones that we've had recently. Some of these elite ones, like this one was but like this was a great elite set. I just wish, one thing I do wish is that they did have a, is there a difference in color scheme from Mythic? Oh yeah, there is. But I do wish they had, they keep these going. Like these are pretty good sets. I was proud of them. Like again, like this is BFA and Shadowlands, man. Like just embarrassments. So hopefully they keep that going. They did do a good job in Dragonflight, so that's a plus there. Okay, Shuffle. MMR gets bugged every other season. Queue times are horrible. This is a good point. Like, how many times have they come out publicly saying that they're working on, you know, solutions for queue times? It's unplayable, man. I would love to play DPS. I don't have time. I play about 2 to 3 hours a day, and I stream. I'm not going to start a stream to sit in a 20-minute queue. I get to play 3 games and then I log off. Like, are you kidding me? I can queue, you know, 20 freaking 2v2 games in that time period. So I really hope they come out with something, but I'm really not confident that will happen. They did not come out with anything about healers or anything like that. I think personally the best way to go about this is you just got to get more people to heal. Like obviously healer queue times were fine, but DPS are bad. I think that's a healer thing. There's a comment that we'll get to down below. Actually, no, I'll touch on now. There was a comment underneath this I thought would have been great. Biggest issue with killing the game enjoyment is the skill expression in HPS-centric design. League did this experiment already. Give healers damage utility and reward it as opposed to reward for reading Icy Veins rotations for the last 4 expansions. This is a great point because how many times I've said it, I get hated on it every freaking time because I like to do damage as healers. That is the only reason. I'm saying this because this got me from being a DPS main for, I don't know, 10 years to start healing. Was BFA, Wrestle Druid, did freaking damn. It did good damn. And that's been like, that was the only reason I got into healing, and that is the only reason I heal. Like, having opportunities to impact the game with that, besides just sitting behind a pillar and just spamming heal. I think this is a excellent way to get people. I know everyone says healers should heal. Hot take, you're old if you still like that, okay? Nobody wants to heal like that. I'm sorry, it's not personal. Yeah. New people that are younger, if we want more people to play this game, you need to make healing more fun. And that means give them better utility, give them better damage. They are kind of going down the route a little bit, but it's not great. Like the Wrestle Druid damage stuff, like we don't want passive damage, man. Like our Wrestle Druid, for example, you have that auto-casting Moonfire from your trans. That's not what we need. We don't need auto-casting fucking passive damage. Like the Wrath damage was great. Giving us Wrath damage with mana return. That is a perfect incentive. That's it. What's another great example? I mean, Dispriest Atonement, obviously, but that's the core of the gameplay of that. Just making meaningful easy. A Flame Shock and Lava Burst. That's a great thing. Stormkeeper was a great talent. Imperial Blaze for Holy Priest. Having like 1 minute cooldowns that are really strong damage-wise that can contribute to the kill of a game. I think that's really important. It doesn't have to be high sustained damage. Like Fistweaver was a problem, obviously. But I think it's just so simple. Just have something I proposed to someone that like a Blizzard dev that I had the opportunity to talk to was like making Convoke something better. Like I feel like Convoke could easily be something similar to Imperial Blaze. Why does it hit pets? Why does Ultimate Penance, or whatever it's called for Dispriest, not hit pets, but Convoke hits every single pet? There's every other class in the game has pets. Like it's such an easy incentive to make healers able to contribute to fights, and that's it. You don't need high sustained damage, you just need cooldowns, and then also having utility to be able to impact the game. Like Cyclone is obviously too strong, but having like the nature of Cyclone, which other ones here? I mean, Sleepwalk for Evokers, just having CC to be able to impact the game, and I think that will go such a long way in terms of solo shuffle queues. I think that is the best option, my opinion. Okay, LFG tool, this is a really good point. Finding mates in queue with is so hard, mainly due to no comp diversity, less diversity, less possible partners. Yes. So this is the reason why solo shuffle kind of is really enjoyable for a lot of people, because you don't have to worry about comps. Like everybody just wants to play the best comp. Nobody cares about you. You know, if you have applicants of every healer, you're gonna pick the best one. You don't know any of them, you're gonna pick the best one. right? You're not going to pick the you know, the guy who's playing the F tier healer just because he's really good. Like, you're going to pick the worser player because he's playing the best class. And it's a crummy thing, but that's just game meta. I don't think you really can change that. But what I think they could do, if someone signs up and you want to check their experience and you have to open up a third-party website, yeah, that's a good point too. That this could definitely be, I think that being able to see experience within the game would be great. On that note, I'm not going to go into too much of a sidebar. This video is going to get too long. Not too much of a sidebar, but like having the potential to change the achievements in PvP. Because the seasons, like 2400 means nothing anymore. What 2700 means nothing. Like, what season did you get it in? It's like, they're completely different. It's just an arbitrary number. So hopefully they eventually go down the road of like making different brackets and stuff like that, but that's a whole nother topic. But yes, being able to see someone's experience from the game would be great. Why do I have to use a third-party website that, like, you know, we got to be thankful people are so passionate for the game, like Drusfar and Lika. He makes his website. Like, why do we have to go to websites like that? Why can't they just make the game have that kind of stuff? And then making something that you can find partners while not sitting in queue would be great. Like maybe like a guild listing. They put this whole guild listing system in, and I don't think anybody uses it. Maybe like RP servers use it or something, but that's literally it. Like, they should have something that you can post in queue and find people over time, just like you know, what it's Stoops make joke about it, like WoW Tinder, and just like posting what you're looking for, and then people, you know, you can swipe if you want these people or not, and you can add them on B-tag or whatever it is. But I think that's such an easy win for increasing incentive in like 2s, 3s, and I don't know why they kept the RBG bracket, but RBG bracket. Okay, moving on here. Next one here, balancing. Tuning is irregular. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Why? There is always something to tune, even if it's 1 to 2% nerfs and buffs. Tiny nudges consistently make the game feeling fresh. There's also clear bias to the balance team. I think he'll say that in the next thing here. But in terms of tuning, I know that there was a interview with that guy George or something, that he did come out and say that they typically in the beginning of every expansion they're going to do heavy tuning, and then they ease up and they let it like kind of sink in, which is made literally no sense. Like, they want people to like. It's so stupid. Like, I honestly, from at least a PvP perspective, even a PvE perspective, what reason do you have to not tune anymore? Like, just stale. Yeah, it's just things make it feel fresh. Yeah, just because, you know, Demon Hunter or whatever class is performing really well in the DPS meters or in arena, why does it have to stay at the top for the last season or two? Like, we got like what, like 2 tuning passes? I would say it was probably less than 5 tuning passes in all of 2024, I want to say. No, maybe that's wrong. Maybe more like 10. But like once every 2 weeks? Once a week? Like, I feel like once every 2 weeks is feasible, or just once a week. Like, again, like, yeah, like you said, 1 to 2% buffs and nerfs. Like, there's definitely little things you could do all around to try to get balance. Like, balance can never be perfect. I think people have understand that at this point, and you just kind of accept it. That's why people have alts. And yeah, I feel like that would be a great thing. But like they said, their philosophy is tune heavy in the beginning of the expansion, and then they kind of fade throughout the seasons. Those are clear bias. This was an interesting one. I've never heard of this. One of the top players in the balance team has a massive bias towards Rogue. His name is Reels, which has been confirmed by credible people who shall remain nameless. There also isn't a PvP balance team with any big influence. Why not? It would be objective to make PvP better. I can see why they don't publicly say there's not a PvP balance team after the history of with Halinka. Halinka was great, but everybody just wanted somebody to hate. And I think from a, like, I don't know what the right word is here, but like, if I was the PvP developer, I honestly, man, maybe I probably wouldn't want everyone to know who it was, because you would just get hated on. Whether you did a good job or bad job, you're gonna get hated on. But maybe not at this point. Maybe I'm being a little pessimistic on that, because I think people have come to this point where they're like praising, like, we want Halinka back and like stuff like that, because he was at least out there. Like, something is better than nothing, even if it's not great. And I'm not saying Halinka wasn't great. I thought he did a great job. People are always just kind of people just want people to hate on, right? But this is really interesting. If that is true, that probably should be addressed, I would think, because I mean, Rogues have been really good for a while. So. But yeah, that's an interesting point there. Okay, moving on here. Esport, nowhere in the client or in-game are you notified if there is a match going on in League. The first thing you see is a button. This is interesting. I like that. Like, maybe they could like put something in the PvP tab, that like the AWC is live or something like that on, you know, on Twitch or something like that, or whatever it is, or on the I don't know if they even put it on the launcher. I actually don't even know if they put it on the launcher, but that would be interesting to see. Yeah, just more things to kind of bring people into it. Also, in terms of esport, I know this maybe this is a hot take as well. I think 3v3 is probably needs to fade, or do they just need to have multiple different tournaments or stuff? Like 3v3, I know it's the core of it, but dude, the couple solo shuffle tournaments were so much better from a viewer perspective. Yeah, it's cool to have like a team you root for and all this stuff, but man, solo shuffle was so much more entertaining. Like off meta comps and like all this stuff. I thought it was super super fun to watch compared to it. So maybe we can see like Battleground Blitz and solo shuffle tournaments in War Within. That would be great. I'm personally not a fan of watching 3v3. That's just personal opinion. I know like that's been a core thing, but maybe it's time to move on with that. Maybe we have solo queues. I don't know. Prize pools are depressing. That is true, but can't really expect too much if the participation in the game and the streams are not that high. So I think this is unfortunately probably needs to be a second. Like we need to figure out how to get more viewers first, but before they bump the prize pools. Spectator UI is outdated. Tracking meaningless cooldowns. Yeah, it could be improved. I don't think it's that bad to be honest, but it could probably be improved. Moving on, maps. No new arena map in War Within. New battleground in War Within. Great, except that it was the first in 7 years. I think so. Like, I don't think there's a total need for a completely new map every expansion or something like that. But they could make adjustments, like just appearance-wise, to just spark things up a little bit. Like they had, you know, like Arathi Basin to the snow Arathi Basin. Like they can. It doesn't have to be like a visibility thing. Like outside the visibility change, like just something that looks a little different. Like update the maps maybe. Like they did it in a grand. Just maybe little changes and maybe add a little ramp sometimes. I think they could just adjust maps over the expansions rather than make complete new ones. I know it's probably not the easiest thing to make a map, to be honest, because you have to make sure everything is... Maybe it's not. You just make something symmetrical. What the fuck am I talking about? Just make something symmetrical that has like balanced up and downs and like, you know, not like a Blade's Edge Arena where like some classes are just superior because of the knockbacks and stuff like that and mobility. But I think it'd be great. Battlegrounds, again, I think they can just tune things. I don't know if it's a good idea to have too many maps, but maybe they could rotate maps and add new ones. They could add new ones, but rotate others. Like there's, I feel like they could easily make another flag map. Everybody loves flag maps. Why can't we have another one like that? Capture flag maps, or even just like I said, rotating them. Maybe just like adding a new variant and rotating them, if anything. Alt Plague. This is something I didn't really know about. I'll just change this music here. Alt Plague I did not know about. Mid-tier ratings are plagued with rank 1 players on there. Also, well, I know that. Why is there not some kind of soft account? Oh, okay, never mind. Duh. I read this wrong. Yes. Some soft account because it's like smurfing and stuff. And you know what? You can't blame the players for this. I can think about this from a DPS perspective. If you're like at the top of the ladder, you're probably sitting really long queues, and you either log on and sit an hour queue, or you play an alt and you can play the game. Like, I don't even think it's for the incentive of stomping on people. I think sometimes it is. For some players it is. They want to stomp on others. But, I mean, for me, man, like I said, I play 2 or 3 hours a day max. I can't be sitting 30, 40-minute queues. Like, I'd rather just make an alt and play than sit a queue. And I think that's more likely what's going on with a lot of people. They don't want to sit the queues because they have real lives and they can't sit on the computer all day. But this is interesting, a soft account wide for same class. The only problem I can see with this is if people want to play alt specs, like, you know, playing Resto to playing Feral. Like, I'm not a good Feral. I'm not like, and like, you know, from Shadow Priest to Disc Priest and vice versa, like they're not equal. So that's kind of a tough part on that. So that's what he had on his thread. One other thing I wanted to poke on here was built-in DR tracker. So just add-ons I think would be great. There could definitely be a better UI that makes better services to players and makes it a better entry point for a lot of new players. You know, having DR trackers, explaining what DRs are. What did Lika talk about? He mentioned like a PvP starter journal or something like that. So like having like a journal or something that kind of just shows, like, you could click on every class and show you what cooldowns that every class has, whether it's utility, CC, offensive, defensives. Like, there's external websites to do this, but again, why can't we need to, like, if they do care, which I know it's hopium, blah 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 blah, just quit, the game's dead. But it's such an easy thing just to put in, man. Like, what? like the external sites already have the information. Like Blizzard could just steal the information. It's their information. Just steal it back and just like put it into something that can make the entry. And also, why is there no practice arena? Why? Like every game has that, like where you could just verse like AI and just practice. Like you could just queue up. You could just practice. Like instead of pressing skirmish, you could or like the what's the comp stomp. There could be a comp stomp freaking arena button. You can queue up with your friends together to practice things. If they want to go a step further, which will never happen, but you can adjust them. You can adjust the difficulty on that, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. But maybe even just like a comp stomp with arena. Why is that like? I'm pretty sure that's a thing to some extent, right? I mean, they have the combat from the Comp Stomp Brawl. Just like tune it up a little bit and put them in, or you don't have to tune them up. Just put them in the arena, let people practice. It's so intimidating for new players to get into arena. I remember freaking shaking the first time I queued arena. Like even being a Battleground veteran and like going to my first arena, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. If I mess up, I lose the game. And like, such an easy win there, man. Because I think, altogether, if you do want to make this game grow, you need to get new players in. And it's just too complicated. The UI's too much. Everything is too much. We need to simplify things and add more tutorial tools. And all the information's out there. Players have how many times have said it, all these things that we've given you all the ideas, but just nobody takes them. And like they said, like the game participation is not that high for PvP. Why are they gonna care? But it could be better. I don't know. Just hopium. Just a thought. I'm ranting. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment with your thoughts down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.